You ever notice something wild about life? Some people move like water, soft, patient, but unstoppable. And some, they crack under the slightest pressure. But nobody tells you. You get to choose which one you become. You can flow, or you can break. And that choice starts right now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Right now, while your heart's still beating and your life's still quietly asking, are you really going to settle for this? Because look, why do some people work like their soul's on fire? Why do some push themselves past comfort, past excuses, past fear? Why do some chase knowledge like their life depends on it? Why do some run toward the challenges while others hide from them? Here's a sharper question. Why not you? You've got a brain. You've got the ability to make decisions. You can study a plan. You can break patterns that have been holding your family back for generations. You can flip your life upside down and rebuild it stronger than ever. If you believe even 1% that your imagination isn't lying to you, that the future you secretly see, the stronger you, the wiser you, the more disciplined you, might actually be possible, then everything changes. Because it starts like that, a tiny belief, almost embarrassing to admit. First, you imagine what's possible. Then you take a deep breath and whisper, maybe it's possible for me. You hear other people say, if I can do it, you can do it. And at first it feels cheesy, but deep down, it hits. Because you've seen people rise from things you wouldn't survive. You've watched nobodies turn into somebodies. You've watched broken men rebuild their lives from scratch. You've seen people start with nothing, literally nothing, and somehow walk into a future nobody expected them to reach. So you start believing it, slowly, quietly. Not enough to brag about, but enough to move. You tell yourself, if I did it once, I can do it again. If it happened before, it can happen again. If change was possible then, it's possible now. And this belief, this tiny little spark, turns into the most important step of all. You start working. For real. Not casually, not halfway, but with intention. You stop daydreaming and start doing. You stop wishing and start building. You take that idea in your head and give it a spine, a shape, a heartbeat. You turn imagination into movement. That's the part nobody glamorizes, the part where you show up when nobody sees you, where you build something from the ground up, where you breathe life into a plan only you understand. And once you do that, you become dangerous in the best way. Not to the world, but to your old limitations. Because let's be honest, how did anyone get where they are? By luck? By connections? By some magical destiny? No. They ask themselves the same question I'm asking you right now. Why not me? If someone else can find a life-changing book, why can't you? If someone can learn a skill that changes everything, why can't you learn it? If someone can discipline themselves out of disaster, why can't you save yourself? Your blood doesn't run colder. Your mind isn't less capable. Your heart isn't less powerful. The only difference is how long you've waited to believe it. Everybody on this planet has a story. The mother who went from welfare to wealth. The man who started sick and ended unstoppable. The one who started in debt and walked into abundance. The one who was hopeless and now walks in the light. And every single one of them would look you straight in the eye and say, why not you? That's the heartbeat of every transformation story. It's not the circumstances. It's not the background. It's not the starting point. It's the moment someone finally says, I'm done playing small. I'm done waiting. I'm done settling. It's my turn. But here's the twist. Maybe what happened to you wasn't your fault. Maybe life hit you harder than you deserved. Maybe you didn't get support. Maybe you got hurt, betrayed, underestimated. Fine. But from this moment forward, it's your responsibility to fix it. Not because it's fair, but because nobody's coming to save you. And listen carefully. It's not what happens that decides your life. It's how you respond. We're all in the same storm, but not the same boat. The wind hits all of us. The wind of opportunity, the wind of disaster, the wind of change, the wind that flips your world upside down. But the wind isn't what decides your future. It's the set of your sail. Some people set their sail toward growth, some toward excuses, some toward fear, some toward greatness. And the crazy part? You get to choose. Overcaution is just as dangerous as recklessness. Some people never get anything out of life because they're too scared to take a step. They speak the language of the poor. What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if something goes wrong? But here's the line that shatters your excuses. It's all risky. You think trying is risky? Wait until you see the bill for not trying. You want a guarantee? Here's the only one life gives you. If you stay the same, your life stays the same. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. You can be 20, 40, 60, doesn't matter. Change doesn't ask your age. Change asks your courage. Any 2 years you choose can transform your life forever. But only if you start, right now. And beneath all of this is one question you must answer alone. Why? Why grow? Why work harder? Why learn more? Why discipline yourself? Why sacrifice comfort for potential? Because if your why is strong, your how becomes easy. Have you ever noticed, when life really wants to change you, it doesn't whisper, it hits. Hard, unfair, unexpected. And in that hit, you either break or you bloom. Most people break, not because they're weak, but because nobody ever taught them how to stand back up. Nobody ever looked them in the eye and said, "You're built for more than this." But life will tell you in its own brutal way. Not with congratulations, not with applause, but with pressure. Pressure creates diamonds. Pressure also crushes rocks. The difference? What they're made of. So let me ask you something real, and be honest with yourself, even if it stings a little. What are you made of? See, life is funny. You don't get to hide from your potential forever. The longer you run, the louder it gets. Until one day, you wake up and realize you're tired of shrinking. You're tired of second-guessing yourself. You're tired of being almost great. You're tired of making space for everyone except yourself. And suddenly something inside you snaps. Not in a broken way, in a reborn way. You look at your old excuses, like they're old clothes that don't fit anymore. You look at your comfort zone and realize it's just a fancy prison. You look at your past and whisper the scariest, most powerful sentence a human can say, "I want more." Not because you're ungrateful, but because you're unfinished. And unfinished people have an energy that even the universe respects. They're hungry, sharp, focused. They walk through life like they're carrying a blueprint only they can read. And that blueprint? That's your purpose. The thing you can't shake. The vision you can't ignore. The version of yourself you secretly know you're supposed to become. Everybody hears the calling, only a few answer. And the truth? Your future doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're healing from things you don't talk about. It only cares about one thing. Will you move? Because your life is playing chess with you every single day. If you don't make a move, life will make one for you. And trust me, you don't want life deciding for you. It'll always choose the harder path to teach you the lesson you refuse to learn. But when you choose, when you move, when you decide, everything shifts. You start building discipline like muscles. You start keeping promises to yourself. You start noticing details. You start thinking clearer. You start speaking differently. You start carrying yourself like someone who knows exactly where they're going. And the world treats you differently too. Not because the world changed, but because you did. People feel energy before they see results. The moment you start evolving, people sense it. They watch you like, damn, something's different about them. And they're right. Something is different. You're not apologizing for your ambition anymore. You're not negotiating with your worth. You're not explaining your motives. You're not shrinking to make other people comfortable. You're walking like someone who finally realized you don't need permission to become powerful. And no, power isn't dominance. It's self-respect. It's consistency. It's awareness. It's emotional control. It's giving effort without begging for validation. It's knowing when to stay, when to leave, and when to level up. You know what people fear the most? A focused mind. It's louder than anger, sharper than intelligence, more dangerous than money. A focused mind can rebuild your whole life from zero. A focused mind can break generational patterns. A focused mind can create opportunities where none existed. A focused mind can turn you into the leader your younger self needed. And here's the twist nobody tells you. Focus isn't natural. It's a decision, a brutal one, a lonely one, a rewarding one. You choose what to walk away from. You choose what to protect. You choose what to chase. You choose who gets access to your energy. You choose who doesn't. You stop trying to fix people who enjoy brokenness. You stop trying to convince people who enjoy misunderstanding you. You stop trying to impress people who can't even impress themselves. Instead, you invest in your craft. You invest in your mind. You invest in your habits. You invest in your vision. Because you realize something powerful. If you lose your focus, you lose your future. And you're done losing. You've lost enough years, enough sleep, enough confidence, enough chances, enough moments where you knew better but didn't act, enough time convincing yourself you weren't ready. Now, you're moving different. You understand time like a weapon. You understand silence like a strategy. You understand solitude like a classroom. You understand growth like a responsibility. And responsibility changes people. It sharpens you. It matures you. It brings out the version of you your childhood probably prayed for. Because real maturity isn't age. It's awareness. It's the moment you realize nobody is coming to save you. But you are absolutely capable of saving yourself. You walk with that truth and look at life like a competitor, not a victim. A challenger, not a casualty. A builder, not a bystander. You start saying things like, let me run my race. I'll figure it out. One day at a time. Progress over perfection. Watch me. Why not me? Read that again. Why not me? That's the heartbeat of every winner. Every entrepreneur. Every leader. Every person who broke their own limits. Why not me? If someone else can become disciplined, why not you? If someone else can break their bad habits, why not you? If someone else can build a new life, learn a new skill, reinvent themselves, grow mentally, emotionally, financially, why not you? Here's the truth. Most people don't face the truth that punches quietly, daily, relentlessly. Most people are not controlled by their circumstances. They're controlled by their comfort. Comfort is the invisible hand around your throat. Comfort is the soft pillow that slowly becomes a cage. And every day, comfort whispers the same lie. Tomorrow, you'll try tomorrow. But here's the Nietzsche punchline nobody wants to hear. The person you avoid becoming is exactly who you're becoming. And if that line doesn't shake you, it should. Because in America today, the land of endless opportunity and endless distraction, people aren't failing because life is hard. They're failing because comfort is easy. Look around. People scrolling their dreams away, people numbing their ambition with entertainment, people drowning their potential in convenience, people trading their future for another 5 more minutes. This is what Nietzsche warned about, the quiet decay of a life never lived. He called it the death of becoming, when a human stops transforming and starts shrinking. And maybe that's exactly where you've been stuck. Maybe you wake up tired, not physically, but spiritually. Tired of being behind. Tired of being stuck in the same loops. Tired of watching other people do exactly what you know you could do if you actually tried. But here's the part that should make you sit up straight. You are not tired. You are unchallenged. Read that again. Your mind isn't exhausted. It's starving. It's begging you to stretch, to fight, to grow, to become something harder, sharper, better. You're not burned out. You're underlived. And Nietzsche would tell you this bluntly. If your life has no tension, no climb, no struggle, you are not living. You are decaying. This is why so many people feel numb. Not because life is unfair, but because life is too soft. You weren't built for softness. You weren't designed for ease. You were designed for weight, psychological, emotional, responsibility weight. Without it, the soul collapses. Think of every American success story you admire. Actors, athletes, CEOs, dreamers, creators. Every one of them had a moment where they said, enough. No more drifting, no more waiting, no more hoping life will fix itself. That's the moment things turn. That's the moment the wheel moves. That's the moment Nietzsche calls the spark of becoming, when a person stops asking for permission and starts demanding transformation. Maybe today is your day for that spark. Because if not now, when? When the pressure gets worse? When the regret gets heavier? When the years start sprinting past faster than you can keep up? When the opportunities that were once possible aren't possible anymore? The harsh truth, the truth nobody wants to admit is this. One day you will run out of tomorrows. And I don't say that to scare you. I say it so you wake up. So you stop living like you have infinite chances. You don't. And here is where Nietzsche hits you hardest. Become who you are. Not who your parents wanted. Not who society wanted. Not who your failures convinced you to settle for. Become who you know you are. Under the fear, under the comfort, under the excuses. Because every time you avoid your potential, you strengthen your prison. And every time you take one uncomfortable step, you weaken your chains. Nietzsche believed something powerful. Pain isn't the enemy. Meaningless pain is. But pain that transforms you, pain that realigns your soul, pain that forces you to grow, that's not suffering, that's rebirth. So here's your real question. Are you choosing pain that grows you, or pain that kills you? The pain of discipline, or the pain of regret? That's the fork. That's the divide. That's the moment your whole life pivots. Right now, in this exact moment, you are one decision away from being unrecognizable in 12 months. One decision away from shocking everyone. One decision away from finally becoming the version of you that keeps haunting your dreams. And Nietzsche would look you in the eyes and ask, why are you still living small? Is your fear really stronger than your future? Is your doubt really bigger than your destiny? Is your comfort really worth your potential? You already know the answer. Because if you've listened to this far, you're not average. Average people click away. Average people can't sit with truth this heavy. Average people avoid mirrors. But you didn't. You stayed. You leaned in. You felt those words. You're not average. You're just unactivated. So let me leave you with this one last punch, the line that splits your life into before and after. The future you want is expensive. The currency is your old self. Pay it. Pay it now. Pay it before it's too late. Because the version of you that you're scared to become is the one who saves your entire life. There's a moment in every person's life where everything gets quiet. Not peaceful quiet. Dangerous quiet. That silent moment where you realize you've been living on autopilot. You've been running someone else's program. You've been following routines that were never meant for you. You've been shrinking, not growing. You've been existing, not becoming. Nietzsche calls this the moment of awakening, the psychological punch that hits harder than any failure. And maybe today, this is yours. Because here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people aren't afraid of failure. They're afraid of responsibility. Responsibility means ownership. Ownership means power. Power means accountability. And accountability means you can't blame anyone anymore. And once you stop blaming, you start changing. This is why most Americans stay stuck in the same cycle. Year after year, job after job, dream after dream left untouched like old dust on a bookshelf. They don't lack ambition. They lack activation. Nietzsche says, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." And that's exactly what's missing in your life right now. A why that's strong enough to pull you out of the mental quicksand you're sinking into. Because without a why, the how always feels impossible. But with a why, suddenly, every impossible thing becomes your training ground. Think about every hard thing you've survived. The heartbreaks, the disappointments, the depression, the anxiety, the failures, the loneliness, the confusion, the nights where you didn't know how you'd make it through. You didn't survive by accident. You survived because something inside you was still fighting, even when you stopped noticing the fight. Nietzsche believed that within every human is a will to power, the raw instinct to grow, to elevate, to dominate your weaknesses, to rise above your old self. Not power over others, power over your own story, power over your own narrative, power over your own doubts. The problem is, you stopped listening to that instinct. Life got loud. Responsibilities piled up. Bills started screaming. People disappointed you. Opportunities passed you. And slowly, quietly, you forgot you were meant for more. But here's the twist Nietzsche would slap across your face. Your potential never disappears. It just waits, patiently, silently, until you finally get tired of your own excuses. And you are tired. You feel it. You wake up with it. You carry it around like weight on your chest. Tired of watching others grow while you feel stuck. Tired of the same routine that numbs your brain. Tired of lowering the volume on your dreams just to survive another week. But this is where the story pivots. This is the turning point. This is the transition from the old you to the becoming you. Because Nietzsche believed the more pressure life puts on you, the more life is trying to shape you. You're being shaped right now. Your pain is not random. Your struggle is not meaningless. Your confusion is not a mistake. Your frustration is not a sign to quit. It's a sign to transform. It's a signal, a calling, a psychological alarm saying, "Wake up, you're not done." And deep down, you know it. You know there's a version of you that terrifies you because of how powerful it is. A version of you that doesn't procrastinate, that doesn't seek comfort, that doesn't settle, that doesn't shrink, that doesn't ask for permission. A version of you that chooses discipline over ease, purpose over distraction, growth over comfort, responsibility over victimhood. That version of you, it's not a fantasy. It's your next evolution, your next identity, your next chapter. And Nietzsche's philosophy forces you to confront the ultimate truth. You are becoming someone, with or without your awareness. Every decision, every habit, every excuse, every delay, every moment you choose comfort is shaping you into a weaker, smaller version of yourself. And every time you choose discomfort, every time you take responsibility, every time you push yourself, every time you decide to grow, you are shaping the strongest version of you. So the question is not, what will I become? The real question is, which version of me will win? Because one of them will. Either your fear wins or your future wins. Either your excuses win or your evolution wins. Either your comfort wins or your awakening wins. And Nietzsche would remind you of one more thing. No one saves you but you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your partner, not your boss, not your circumstances, not your luck, not your past. You are the hero. You are the villain. You are the reason. You are the solution. You are the one who decides how this story ends. So here is the final question that flips your entire life. Why not you? Why not you become the one who breaks the cycle? Why not you become the one who rises from nothing? Why not you become the one who finally chooses discipline? Why not you become the one who transforms everything? Why not you become the story that inspires everyone around you? Someone out there right now is living the life you want, not because they're better, but because they decided. Now it's your turn. In the end, your life comes down to one quiet question. Am I becoming the person I needed when I was younger? Not the perfect person. Not the lucky one. Not the fearless one. Just the one who finally stopped waiting and started becoming. Because listen, nobody is coming to rescue you. Nobody is coming to fix your life. Nobody is coming to hand you a future. But you can. You can rewrite the ending. You can change the story. You can rise even if your knees are shaking. You can begin again even when it feels too late. You can rebuild even if the world forgot about you. And maybe, just maybe, one day you'll look back and whisper, that was the moment everything changed. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. So, before you scroll, before you go back to your normal day, sit with this one question. Why not you? Why can't you be the one who breaks the cycle? Why can't you be the one who becomes unstoppable? Why can't you be the one who proves everyone wrong, including yourself? You've survived things that should have destroyed you. Don't you dare stop here. Your future is waiting for you to catch up. So stand up, show up, and choose the harder path today. Because the regret of the not trying will always hurt more than the pain of trying. Your life is calling. Answer it. If this message hit you even a little, don't walk away from it. Hit like, not for me, but to remind yourself that you're choosing to grow. Hit subscribe, because you and I both know you're tired of doing life alone. Let me walk with you, one hard truth at a time, and share this video with someone who is pretending to be okay, but is silently falling apart. Sometimes one video, one line, literally saves someone. This might be that video for them, but don't hold it back. Before you go, listen carefully. There's a rule quietly running your entire life. A psychological trap you don't even notice, but it shapes your choices, your relationships, your ambition, your identity. It's the reason you sabotage yourself, the reason you fear success, and the reason you feel stuck, even when nothing is holding you back. And the scary part? Most people die without ever discovering it. Your next video is waiting. The niche rule that silently controls your entire life. Click it now, before your old self drags you back into the same cycle again. Your future self is watching. Don't disappoint him.